Big Jonas here. A quick update, live update on very interesting price action. Day of memory today. Good evening, Coca Jack. I am gently stoned. Coin grinder, Andre. Hello, my friends. Please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy my content here on YouTube. It's Big Jonas. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Big Jonas, fluxtradinggroup.com, fluxtradinggroup.com, dudex.com/Big Jonas if you guys want to do some leverage trading here. Lots of great short and long opportunities. I wanted to start with the 4-hour chart, and you can see how we just teed it right up. MA200 resistance. We've been seeing this MA200 very important on the 4-hour. Go back in time here. We can see how several times it is acted as support here and resistance along the way, especially this last rejection here. And for now, not even today's, we're actually in today. We had this last little pump here as we closed out and started a new day here. But the MA200 rejection is notable, as well as the horizontal resistance that was also rejected on. And how this area has played a lot of history. Remember, this was the original neckline of our inverse head and shoulders, right? Remember we were talking about way back when, November 22nd, how the neckline around $7,250, maybe $7,350, breaking above this neckline would be a very bullish event. And we got wicked on rejection numerous times. And we actually were able to range it numerous times. And we hit the rejection a couple times here. And this is where we currently are finding that resistance. Now, the volume today was definitely nice. This is some good price action. It's been a while since we've seen some back-to-back-to-back, bullish candles. Okay, something like this we saw here as well. But let's be real here. We've done this before, right? We've done this before with nice bullish volume. Of course, the last time we just flew out the roof here. Okay. And then we had our pattern here of our inverse head and shoulders where we were able to accelerate from. But we got rejected at that $7,800 here. So here's our low. Here's our high. Here's our lower high. Here's our lower low. Here's our lower high. Here's our lower low today. And remember, we did hit that lower low in today's price action across all exchanges. Right? We were bounced over here, November 24th, 6,500, 6,400. So there's the lower low. Any buying that was done during this area, this wick here, and that was not taken profit on along the way up, by this point would have been in the negative, would have been a losing trade in the red. And then it pumps up. It's exactly what Bitcoin likes to do. Now we're still, a couple things here. We're on the underside of this channel, right? On the upside, frankly, there could be even a little more running room here, but we're basically right there. Actually, you know what? I'll do this as a parallel because there's the bottom support that's also interesting as well. Right? Where this was our bear trap when we broke support, but we're still going down the diagonal. There's the break of the diagonal, which was in hindsight a very nice buying opportunity at that time. There was our bounce. Now we come all the way back and we find support around our lower channel. Okay. We blast through our middle channel and we can get to our upper channel. We haven't even really hit it yet. 75 or so and change is what we're mostly looking for. And because of that, we're looking for something in the sense of, are we going to do maybe a repeat of the bear trap that happened this time, where we actually were able to break above 76, 77, and then we actually fade it. Because breaking above and fading it has been kind of the story here. Now what you would do here, you take out all the shorters that were late, but basically shorted up here, 77, 76. Take all them out. And then you continue your trend. Now this could even go higher. Something, I mean, I guess the question is, when do you really decide if we're out of this market, this bearish trend here? We have two ranges, okay? We have two levels of Bitcoin really tight ranging here. We have the $8,200 area, and we have the $7K to $7,300 area. So for now, we've achieved the $7,200, $7,300 area. And what would be significant is to get another $800, $900 higher and consolidate in this area, maybe even above it, of this area that really held quite a bit of consolidation. This was weeks here. This was a long time of consolidation. Not weeks, but, weeks. So this day, this notable move was notable, especially if you're able to play some longs here on the scalp. Okay. This took out the nice short trade in the leverage trade here that was able to avert this. And the volume's pretty good, but the volume isn't as spectacular. And I looked at this across all party lines, which means, as you can see, compared to our last three bullish moves here, I don't want to do, actually, I don't want to do like that, but you can clearly see that we're putting in very nice volume. Lower volume. That's why today and the next couple days of follow-up price action is going to be so meaningful. We have to establish that this is actual trend change, and something more that can be quantified than just a dead cat bounce coming off of a TD9, and that's what we're going to talk about now. Guys, 64 of my closest friends. I love it. Let's give it a thumbs up. Only 13 thumbs up. Let's give it a thumbs up tonight. It's Big Chonas. Let's try to do a little more of these more regularly. And I'm liking the EMA 12, EMA 26. I'm asked a lot, why do I use EMA 12, EMA 26? Because it gives me a very clean sense of what I'm looking at, especially on the daily, and we can see how consistent our EMA 26 has been of resistance here, right? And there it is. There's our wick out of yesterday's close, and currently we're hitting that resistance right now. I want to get above here, and I want to start the trend, right, to get our EMAs in the pending and a chance for a bull cross, which is still quite a ways away. We have to go much higher for that. But as we go down to lower time frames, okay, here's our 12-hour. You can see we closed our first candle above our 12-hour. Now we're still ranging above, support down to 7,100. We can go to our 6-hour. Again, we're still in the bear cross here, but when we get to lower time frames here, we can see what it's going to take to get us something more of a meaningful. Again, early in the candle here. Go to our 4-hour. Now, we expect initial rejections of these crosses as we get into our higher time frames. You see our 4-hour hasn't even yet to touch yet. And our 1-hour, which is so far very nice, had our cross many hours ago. This was actually a bullish entry signal of the bull cross on the hourly chart, and that happened at $6,800 there. So you had a lot of running room on this buy signal on the hourly bull cross, and you actually had a little bit more time if you went to the lower time frames. Remember, lower time frames, you get a quicker signals, right? But they're not as strong of signals until you get to higher time frames, and so far even the 15-minute bull cross back here, it's again $6,600 here. It wasn't much of an advantage up until at least the 45 minutes of the hourly there. We're still holding our support, but as we go down to these lower time frames, we see now we are touching and testing and leveling out our EMAs here. So now the 30, 12 at 71.70 would be the next support. I can go higher here, 70.76. And of course the hourly down here at 7K. So we have EMA support above 7K. But on our higher time frames, okay, this is still just a blip, you know, although a meaningful candle here, especially on the daily, right? It's a nice daily candle. We bullishly engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of bearish price action of Bitcoin, just absorbed it all in one candle here on good volume, but not great volume. That's why today's follow-up is going to be more meaningful. Is the market comfortable with this? What? We got a nice little W gapping here for sure, right? Okay, there are bottoms, as this bottom here. No pun intended, but a little bit of a pun intended. That is showing us this could be a nice W bottom here that could play out, where we have our area of support, we have the pump, we break to a lower low, we have a nice, very nice leading, it looked like a leading wave one, right? But you never got that continuation here. And by putting in the lower low, this was actually the continuation of this move here. And, a decently very bullish so far extension of the initial wave to the 382 at $6,400, pretty much on the penny. So do you see that? We're comparing this bearish wave and the ratio back to the correction layer to the next bearish wave. Actually, that should be red. And that should be red. And what we're doing is testing if this is 100%, then we start going down again, and especially we break the lower low, where are our next levels of note of the extension of this wave? And the 382 almost to the penny. I mean, we have to acknowledge almost to the penny is where we have found that notable support. And there's definitely a big gap down to the next level, the 0.55. But frankly, with this new impulsive move, it kind of takes a little of this out of the way, and we'll be judging our next termination more based on the current candle. And what that does for us here, we can do this a few ways. I actually feel, swing low to swing high. So obviously this is our most recent, most notable swing high. Earlier in the day, there were other fibs to be drawn based on the most notable resistances here and here. But from a pure impulsive move, full capitulation, next impulsive move, you can see we are at the golden pocket ratio, which also happens to coincide with our EMA resistance at this 73 to 73.60 area here with a clear overshoot. Okay, and all we're judging here is climbing back up the mountain to our zero line of this fib, which is around $7,900. Anything above that is really kind of a notable breakout, because we would be breaking through meaningful horizontal resistance. And let's talk about horizontal resistance. There's two things here. There was really the support level here of the closing candle, which is really where I'm looking at here. Okay, great bounce there, bounce one. And now, as you can see, we are on the underside of that resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. So you want to figure out, okay, how meaningful is this move? Well, stage one will be to put closing candles above Really, anything above 7,500 would be definitely notable. I don't care too much about this cluster here. I think we are clear that, lower highs still hold, right? Obviously, right there. Breaking above these wicks here and closing above these wicks and the running room we have here, I would honestly be targeting something really around 78, because 7,800 represents the lower wicks here. More importantly, this candle body close with this very nice bullish engulfing reversal. And then the back test of that $7,800 area did hold again with another nice $500 move in Bitcoin until it was broken. And we can see that also coincides up here with this resistance. So lots of history right at that $7,800 region. But all that has to be said with breaking through EMA resistance, MA resistance on the MA200 on the 4-hour, our diagonal declining line here of resistance, right? Our overall channel resistance. And within this pattern, we still also have the larger and still forming, legit sloping and doping head and shoulders here. Let me get that there. And why can't you see? There we go. That's better. Okay, which is still really forming here. And again, we've seen sloping ones. We've seen more clearer ones. But, I don't think we can ignore this just yet. I would be more comfortable ignoring it, getting farther above the left shoulder zone, which would take us quite far from where we are now, above 8,600. And the head is more like I'm going to ignore these super upper wicks here and just say about $9,800 here. So yeah, there's running room on the upside, but this pattern has yet to be broken, and we are still in this right shoulder until the lower high is broken. And again, that all determines $7,800. If we can break above $7,800, then this can be considered a major reversal candle. Obviously, we'd be up almost $1,000 in Bitcoin price action, which would be, a good 20% move in Bitcoin. Can't complain about that. We've had a lot of those. But we've done this before in this downtrend, only to continue the downtrend. Here's a 40% move. Okay? Here's another 20% move. So right for now, we're down here at 15%. So a 40%, a 20%, a 15%. Okay, so you see the pattern, you see the trend here. Nothing's really changed yet. Okay, so you see the pattern. Sounds pretty good. What do we got here? 78 of my closest friends watching live. I'm truly honored. What's going on, guys? Remember to hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate the support. Follows on Twitter. Follows on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button. It's super easy. And subscribe to my channel. As I said, I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of these YouTube shows as we enter the new year. And of course, when any meaningful Bitcoin price action takes place. All right, so I almost felt compelled to take a screenshot of this. And, shoot. Shouldn't do that. I should just do this and save the image. Okay, so let's look at a couple other things. Again, not want to go too long here. Today's RSI, okay, again, now this is interesting. I talked about breaking above the price line of that head and shoulders here, the shoulder neckline. We kind of did that here in the RSI, which was forming a very similar HNS pattern, right? But that's kind of negated here. That's an interesting sign there. That's kind of bullish. Remember, we are still below 50. I like to get above 50 on the daily RSI to get some momentum speaking. Okay. Good looking advance here on our Stoke. We actually never did get down to our zero range here. Definitely some running room. Our leader really took a big jump today. And whenever we jump really big on our leading indicator, well away from our trailer, I expect some time to get caught up here. Okay, maybe price action consolidates for a little bit longer. Give this guy a little chance to catch up. This is really spread here because of how quickly we're able to rise. So you give that a little bit more of a meaningful, what the hell is that? Support, and let that take a hold here. Now, this has always been concerning for me, the chalk and money flow on the daily. Okay, we flew off a cliff there. There was a nice bounce, and you actually see that money flow after that last little pop there began to wane like it's doing right here. So we did have a nice bounce, but until we can get our CMF above our zero line, which is up here, okay, we got to do something like that. Until we do that and get above it, really get above it like there, and not just get above it, but get above this range here, right? If you see a CMF above here, okay, that is a very bullish signal. Really is. That'll be a very good proving round there, but not there yet. And you silly devil. So remember I was talking about we had our bear cross in our MACD. We had our first negative histogram here. Nice little, look at that, huh? Just a real kick in the balls fake out here on the MACD. That's why with the MACD, especially on the daily, how this is a trailing indicator, okay? Confirmation and continuation is always key. We had our bear cross. We had a quick rejection here to our bull cross, but we are still well below our zero line here. Okay. So again, we got running room to go higher for sure. Okay, but until we want to see a bullish park, we need a rising histogram. We need a above zero MACD, and clearly a ways to go on that. Funding for shorts, so interesting. This basically shows this is almost kind of bullish long here in the sense that I think shorts are paying to keep their shorts here in this market. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's a counterintuitive thing. Shorts have been rewarded quite well for keeping their short positions ahead. And maybe that's interesting kind of thing there. I never thought about it that way, but you actually have, the market is still bearish. So if you want to hold your bearish thing, just as if you wanted to hold bullish here, right? You had to pay for it. You had to pay a lot to hold long during a very bullish May and June. June was a little flat here, but beginning of June there, very expensive to hold your longs, and you were continuously rewarded until the very top. This literally marked the very top. So if you want to see capitulation on the downside, right? I want to see something like this. I want to see a spike in funding that makes it super expensive to short the market, right? We see a spike in the funding down here. I don't know if it can get down here. Sure it can. Look at that. That was as low as we got last time. That marked the bottom. Maybe we go for a little higher low, right? Something over here. But we need something like this in the funding rate, where it's so expensive to short the market because the market looks so bearish. And then we'll look for a nice bottom there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, good day of Bitcoin price action. Indeed. Supports were held. Near-term resistances were broken. On the daily, we had a 9 yesterday. Very nice reversal. Opened the day with a green 2, but we don't know if it's going to be above a green 1 or below. Of course, the 12-hour also gave us a 9. This was a 9 when it started forming and became a 1. But more meaningful was our daily Heikin-Ashi, which also was a 9 on a reversal candle. And now we have started with a nice green 1 here. So we have a good reversal on the Heikin-Ashi on a very nice TD count. We got decent volume here, but not the best. Still lower lows, sorry, lower highs. That's why I said follow-up is important. All right, guys, short and sweet, but that's all I got. Nice half hour with you guys. 77, my closest friends here. Give me a thumbs up. Appreciate your support. It's Big Jonas. Happy holidays. Guys, this is our last week before the holidays. Hope you guys are having a good late fall. Remember, it's not even winter yet, technically speaking. That's in another week or so, or next week, I believe. Happy holidays. Really appreciate your support out there in Twitterverse and YouTubeverse. Hoping that we get a very interesting 2020 as we approach the halvening and all sorts of other things, exciting things. I'm very optimistic for the future. Remember, trading is about being able to stay within your trades, stay within your rules, stay within your profile, stay within your your style, because it's very easy in this market to go a little overboard and to get wrecked. So I like trading long. I like trading short. I've been using duodex.com/BigShonas if you guys are interested in doing some leverage trading. Short term, 4 hour, looking for the MA 200 to turn resistance into support. That would be nice. And then once that happens, if that happens, I start looking to higher time frames. The 6 hour at 78. 12 hour. And then for a more meaningful trend, okay, on the daily, remember, we still have all three of our moving averages in a downward position. We still have our daily Bollinger Bands, even with today's move, very tight. And I wouldn't necessarily call this a close above middle Bollinger, although it kind of is, right? Kind of is, but it's very close, right there, or right there. Upper BB resistance around 76, 77, maybe a wick above. Okay, this market equilibrium, at least of recent, can change with closes above 7,800. Closes above 7,800 should bring the 8Ks, but there's a lot between here and there. So until next time, Big Jonas here. Catch you later. Enjoy. Peace. Talk to you soon. Happy holidays. We'll be in touch.